Here? Yeah, I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell Kanoom Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. I'm here. While I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts. This is My Thoughts 167. All week we was doing um, God's prophets exposed. This is another one, but I've changed the name with Jesus as God exposed. Okay, so he's not even a prophet, let alone to be begotten from God. Begotten means to be taken from God, taken out of the earth, put into a virgin, and he came to the planet. That means that was God the whole time. That's incorrect. We're gonna show all that according to the scriptures of the Bible, King James Version and New Living Translation, on some of the verses to turn it into layman's terms. So there's no prophets of God. I explained this all every day during the week. There's no disciples of God. There's no apostles of God. There's no sons of God because there is no God. Okay. Now, this is not to tell people, hey, it ain't no God. Just follow whatever you want and do whatever you want. You can be a heathen. It ain't no God. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm merely bringing information to show you that if this is a God, either somebody, as they did, fictitiously used oral tradition, allegory, mythology, fiction, or they made this man God up by way of religious literature, put it in history, and sold it to be real. That's exactly what religion is. I'm going to show you that using the Bible. If you use your analytical mind and understand that if it didn't happen then, I used to say this all the time. If it didn't happen then, it can't happen again. And that's saying something for history because a lot of people that know history tends to say history repeats itself. But a lot of these biblical allegorical story, mythology, and oral tradition, fiction stories, they never happened even at the time that the setting took place. Okay, and I'm going to show you that. So we got a lot of things I'm going to be doing. So let's get right to it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching. This is the first verse, Matthew 12 in the New Living Translation. This is Jesus the Christ, supposedly be God, um, prophesying, okay, which he gets it wrong. 100% wrong. He gets it wrong. So he's not a prophet of God, let alone God or God's son, or he's God now. This is wrong. Matthew 12. Um, in the New Living Translation, just so it can be in layman's terms, this is Jesus getting it wrong. He's prophesying about a thing. He heard about Jonah. This is all mythology as well. And he said, just like Jonah, I'm going to be in the belly of the beast for 3 days. So this is Matthew 12. Hold on. Matthew 12, verse 40. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to open it on my side. Matthew 12, verse 40. It says, for as Jonah was in the belly of the beast, the belly of the great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so will the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Remember that. 3 days and 3 nights. He got this from Jonah. He said, just as Jonah did it, I'm going to do it, which means he was going to die for 3 days and 3 nights and resurrect, as you know, the story that was taught to us. That's a lie. Okay. That's a failed prophecy as well. So let's go to the very next verse. All these is in your Bible. The very next verse is John 19:31, New Living Translation, and it states this. It was the day of preparation, and the Jewish leaders didn't want the bodies hanging there the next day, which is the Sabbath. So this was Friday, okay? It was the day of preparation. So that's Friday because the Sabbath day is Saturday. It's when all the Jewish people go to the synagogue or cathedral, whatever you want to call it. So this was they explaining to you a Friday. Okay, the day before the Sabbath, which is a preparation day. The next day, which was the Sabbath, and a very special Sabbath because it was Passover week. You hear that? The next day was Sabbath. So this is Friday that we're talking about. Okay. So they asked Pilate to hasten their deaths by ordering that their legs be broke. So it said, hey, don't go kill them. Just go break their legs because we don't want them hanging there overnight because Sabbath is in the morning. So when he went to go break their legs, Jesus was already dead. The two people that was buried, I guess thieves, as they always say in history and in the Bible, he broke their legs and Jesus was already dead. So he died preparation day, which is Friday evening, somewhere up in there. So he said he broke the two men's legs that was crucified with Jesus. But when they came to Jesus, they saw that he was dead. So they didn't break his legs. Okay. So he died Friday night, Friday evening, somewhere up in there, however you want to cut it. This is the Bible. I'm not doing nothing to it. Let's continue. Okay. The next verse, the resurrection. Let me play that. Keep up with the slides. Screenshot these if you want to, or you can come back to it. The resurrection. Early on Sunday. Okay. Early Sunday morning. Now, Jesus died Friday night. Early Sunday morning while it was still dark. So this is 4, 5, 6 in the morning, somewhere up in there. Okay. Mary Magdalene came to the tomb that found the stone and found the stone had been rolled away from the entrance. Okay. Now, Sunday morning, while it was still dark, Jesus had already got up out of his tomb. He resurrected. So any man can understand. If we go back to that Jonah um, prophecy he gave, just as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish for 3 days and 3 nights, me, Son of God, Jesus the Christ, is going to be in the belly of the beast. He talking about the earth, dead for 3 days and 3 nights. That's a lie. He died Friday night. So Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning. That's nothing but about a day and a half. So that prophetic prophecy from God or the Son of God, however you guys take it, because he later become God in John 1:1, that was a lie. So this Jesus the Christ is a horrible prophet. Number one, he's not the Son of God. Number two, and he's not God. I'm proving all that using the Bible. This is how the story goes now. Let's go to something else. Please write all that stuff down if you have any questions or get in this comment section. I want to show you another thing that God couldn't have got wrong. Okay. He shouldn't have been able to get that wrong if he was God. He knew he was going to be dead for 3 days and 3 nights, and he woke up in a day and a half, eager to try to say, hey, I'm back up. Because the story writers wrote it that way. It never happened in history. We're talking about religious literature. The mustard seed. Okay. This is Matthew 13, verse 31. Says a parable. See, Jesus used to use parables because he was so much smarter than everybody. That's a lie. He never studied. Show me where he studied in libraries continuously and read, uh, written down notes, anything where he wrote a diary, where he was creating the Bible, biblical literature. Show me where he did any of that in the Bible. He wrote something down in the sand on the beach for his disciples. That's it. He never was reading all the time. To be a smart man, they say this is the smartest man to ever come into the earth. You have to show and prove something that he was doing to be so smart. Oh, he was God's son. He knew everything. He didn't know that he would jump up out of the grave before his premonition said he should. He said, I'm going to be in the ground for 3 days and 3 nights. He lied on that. Now he's going to make a fool of himself by saying the mustard seed is the smallest seed in the world. It's never been the smallest seed in the world. There's at least 12 or 13 other seeds smaller than the mustard seed. Even at that time, you had a thing called the ostrich seed. So that's another failed prophecy and another lie. So this is not God. God would already knew this. Let's read it. Another parable uh, put he forth into them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in the field. which indeed is the least of all seeds. Okay, least of all. Let's go to New Living Translation so you can see what it's meaning in layman's term. That means the smallest of all, right there. Another parable. See, this is the stuff he spoke in. So people say he was so smart. He used parables and carrying on. Stop it. This wasn't no son of God or no God. This was just a man doing the best he can. He was in my opinion, illiterate. Okay. He might have been intelligent, but he didn't read and write continuously. So he was illiterate, if you ask me. Um, he was running around with bedouins, nomads, vagabonds, people that never had anything, just moved from place to place, living off the land until they couldn't didn't have anything else to live off of and just move. So it was nothing unique about these people that he was pulling these shams over on. It was illiterate. Go look at the literacy level. If you just want to Google stuff, it was very low at that time. Okay. Here is another illustration Jesus used. This is the same thing, Matthew 31. I'm sorry, Matthew 13, New Living Translation 31. Here is another illustration Jesus used. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed planted in a field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but it becomes the largest of garden plants. Okay. It's the smallest of all seeds. It's just like comedy. You continue to get this stuff wrong so much. And this is the kicker of them all. Okay. This was never written about for this to be historic when this man was running around in the first century. This was never written about by nobody. Listen to this. This gonna drop you dead. Okay. Straight up. Straight up and down. This is what is this? This is Matthew 27 in the New Living Translation, verse 51. 27:51. Matthew 27:51 in the New Living Translation. Okay. It goes like this. At the moment, the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn into from top to bottom. Okay. This is talking about Jesus's body. They saying his body was the temple. And once the curtain was torn, which his body was, I guess they saying torn into, or just these are just words for death and when he died. Okay. The temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, rocks split apart, and tombs opened. Okay. Tombs opened, all the graves opened up. The bodies of many godly men and women who had died were raised from the dead. They left the cemetery after Jesus' resurrection, went into the holy city of Jerusalem, and appeared to many. This is how the story goes now. That's Matthew 27:51 all the way to 53. So after this man died on the cross, the earth shook. It got dark all over the place. Plenty of men and women who had died that believed in this Lord, women and men, walked up out of their graves, jumped out of the graves, walked into the city of Jerusalem, and was seen by many. Dead men walking. Hey, Barbara, hey, Johnny, you was dead Wednesday. You up now? You feel like you want to get a beer? Oh, there go Papa, Grandpa. Hey, man, you was dead Monday. You all right? You want some bread or soup? This never happened historically. And what instrument can you use to measure the validity of this story? None, because history is best qualified to reward all research. This is not historical. There's never been hundreds of graves open and dead people walking in the earth. Hey, man, I was dead last week. I feel good now, man. It never happened. That's my thoughts on these scriptures. Jesus the Christ, he's not even a good um, prophet, let alone the Son of God who becomes God, and he was God the whole time. He's not even a good man, God. I showed you that using the scriptures of the Bible. I didn't twist any of the words. You can screenshot it and you can call me out on it in the comments if you feel like it. Jesus the Christ is not a prophet. He's not the Son of God, and he's not God. That's just that. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. This is what I do, and I love to do it. And before I take back what I said, I'll add some more to it. See y'all next week. I appreciate all the likes, the comments, scrutiny. A gentleman asked me for a debate. I do not debate people that's not my equivalent. We're both human beings, so I'm not saying he's not equal to me as a man. That's not what I'm talking about. This man only discussed Bible scriptures and things of that nature. He does not know history. He take the Bible to be real. The Bible is non-historical. Israeli archaeology and any other type of archaeology has proved that wrong years ago. Come into the 21st century and put that nonsense down. See y'all next week. If you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon, pick up some knowledge. Yeah, yeah. We out.